and all the stuff we've done together for music wise, that's the first thing where I've come closest to being like giving up.
All right. Besides that, welcome back, everybody. Boys, say what's up. Say what's up,
boys.
What's
up,
boys? Oh, yups. But hey, y'all already know how it is. Hey, but we got something new for y'all. Hey, yo, roll that intro though. Roll it. All right, but today we have an amazing topic. We want to actually, go over what happened last week. I'm kidding. We want to talk about our second song that we dropped for the 12 for 12. Yes, the 12 for 12. For those of you who do not know what that is, for those of you just listening, go to YouTube, watch this video right now. You'll understand what the 12 for 12 is. Watch one of the videos. It's pretty nice. It's called Balance. Anyways, or 12 for 12.
You got it right with both of those.
Thank you. But our second song is called Peace of Mind.
Yeah, we dropped that in February, right?
Yes, sir.
Yup, it was like I said, second song. Dang, it's a lot of repeating in this podcast. It's
For the
amazing.
second month.
Anyways, first off, to get into it, Peace of Mind. Where did the idea come from? Who did it come from?
I guess both of us, really.
Yeah,
right?
you started.
Because I found originally it was a guitar loop. Well, I mean, technically it still is. But I found that guitar loop, and I was messing around with it for a good amount of time. Then I came up with, like, the first two lines for the bridge, like, when I'm with you. Like, I always imagined it, like, singing high, like, the way I did. But originally it was more like a falsetto thing before, like, we completely changed it. And then that's when you arrived, and I was like, yo, check this out. And then played it for you. Then we just really got talking into, like, what we wanted the song to be about. And then we finished the bridge. And then with the brainstorming, working on the chorus, I was like, yeah, I think we should throw Peace of Mind in the song, just because it's one of the mottos that we that we live by. Excuse me. And then, yeah, with that, we just decided just to call the song Peace of Mind.
Yeah, Peace of Mind obviously isn't like it's not like we trademarked it. Like,
No,
that's
no.
just something that exists in the world that people often talk about and are trying to either maintain or create or whatever, or have, essentially. But I was all like, the whole concept of having peace of mind was always interesting to me. So starting in like high school, I would caption when I posted something on social media when I was cool. I would post things and just caption it peace of mind and stuff. Like, I just loved that, and I always wanted it like on a hat. So one of these days I want to make a hat like that. But just the idea of peace of mind is super appealing. And so then when we created Last Note, we were like, why don't we make that one of our mottos, one of our, next to like keep on and peace of mind and things like that. So, and then you were like, as we were writing it, you were like, let's turn it into a song or whatever. Like, let's write about it. And I was like, say less, because that's right up my alley. Whoops. So. Only they would take this the wrong way.
I love this group. We take everything every way.
Pause, bro. Oh, yeah, think about that. Nice and hard.
Anyways, I'm gonna be honest. Peace of Mind. When y'all showed me it, I had no idea. Like, in myself personally, I didn't picture myself in the song at all. Being completely honest.
Why is that?
Cause I don't know. I always was like, man, that's not my style. But let's be honest, I have no idea what my style is.
That's true.
You know. So start doing stuff that that were not. I feel like I need to try out. And when I hopped in the song, I started liking it. And I thought it was cool. I thought it was really sweet once you dropped it, like, especially when we started creating it from the beginning. How was that like for y'all, the creating process of Peace of Mind?
Well, hold on. What's your favorite song we've done so far that we've released?
So far today?
Yeah. Is Peace of Mind up there at all?
Yes.
Top 3?
Yes.
Top 2? It's okay if it's not. I'm just wondering.
It's because we dropped Smile, and I'm not gonna lie, Smile is up in the. It's Smile and Pringles.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's true.
That's about mine as well.
Yeah, because I really love it.
Peace of Mind's up there for me. That might be number 2.
What's number 1?
Probably Smile.
Dude, Smile is nice. For
Yeah,
those,
that's me.
Yeah.
Smile, Peace of Mind, and then
Pringles. Yeah, it's me.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For those of you just listening right now, listen to Smile.
Yeah, take 5 seconds to listen to it.
Take
Listen
6
to all of
minutes
them.
and 30 something seconds.
Yeah, you can hit pause if you want.
It's really nice. It's a different twist. It's a different twist, especially from what we've been creating.
Well, that's even what Peace of Mind was too.
True.
Mhm.
You know, although it's the second song we released in the 12 for 12, it wasn't the second song we were working on.
No.
No,
and
it wasn't.
and it, you know, Pringles, I feel like is the closest to being like, oh, that's us.
Yeah.
But Peace of Mind was something that was really that was the first version of Smile, so to speak, in terms of style.
That's true.
That's true. That's true. That's true. I feel like when we started digging into more of Peace of Mind, especially just like breaking it down like vocals and everything. I felt like that was tight. Like from like at the beginning, we didn't even picture that. At the beginning, we, like
I don't know.
honestly, we didn't picture that at all. We just thought we kept the guitar loop going throughout the whole thing, which got
We got sick of it.
yeah, exactly. We got hecka sick of it, and it was crazy.
That was a song that we wrestled with.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Wrestled.
we were, and this kind of we're starting to get into our topic of what we want to talk about, but like I specifically, I don't know, I can't remember if any of you guys said it too, but you remember me saying, I was like, dude, I'm not feeling it. Like, what if we change songs and just didn't put this out?
No. Yeah, I was thinking that too while I was working, cause like we talked about it, cause obviously this is a song we were working on before even Moon, before 12 for 12 was an idea. So I think because of that, he was like, yeah, that'll be a cool idea, doing it the way how it originally was planned. But then after Moon and we're hopping back on it, we thought it was gonna be easy because we had that idea. But after Moon, we're like we're not vibing with this, you know, like we were getting sick of it. We pushed it back like twice because of it, and then I even called you when I was working. I was like, bro, I think we can get this done before Valentine's Day. We just really need to do it, and still, for some reason, we couldn't. Even when we got those the 3 people to come and sing for the oohs and ahs for the chorus, I was hoping that would help. It did nothing for us. Like, we were still in that painful loop, and I was thinking that too. I was like, I think I was like, I personally want to move on to another song, but I was like, I don't know if the boys want that too, because we're already like behind with it.
Yeah, I never was like, just to clarify too, I was never like, we need to give up. I was considering it, and I think that's the first and only time so far in Last Note and all the stuff we've done together for music wise, that's the first thing where I've come closest to being like giving up, just because I could not see it working. I just couldn't. So I was like, maybe we should just scrap it or throw it into the archives and move on to something else. Mostly because of time, but also just because I was like, it didn't sound like our sound. Like it just was not working. It wasn't flowing. It didn't sound great or how we wanted it. Like, and the thing that annoyed me was like the message was there. The idea of peace of mind and the story we were building, the story was there. And so that's one of the reasons why I was scared too. I guess it was kind of fearful because I was like, I was like, maybe we should give up because this is too important of a song to goof up. And
Most definitely.
And I was like, it was just not working. But yeah, I don't know. It was crazy.
I feel like my perspective of everything, like, I'm going to be honest, I wasn't feeling the song. So when I started writing lyrics, I started basing it off of y'all's lyrics. And I was just like, oh, so it's this idea. And I just started writing. And I was just like, man, this doesn't go. And I remember you were just like, okay. And you gave me like an instance of a scenario or an actual experience that happened in my life. And he was like, how did you feel? And then that's when I took off, especially just for writing the song specifically. And then, we talked, man, Actually, never mind. That was for Moon. What? That was for Moon. Never mind. Never mind. Peace of mind.
Oh, the
Kinda did
lyrics
same
stuff?
thing. We did the same thing for Peace of Mind too, I think.
Yeah.
Because we started building the story, and I laid out the story for you. We built this character. Doesn't have a name, but we built this character. Talked about the story, right? And I was once again, I know I told you this. I was like, relate it to your own experience to draw inspiration to help push the story forward.
Yeah.
So
true.
I think yes, it did. That was for Moon, but we did the same thing for Peace of Mind.
Yeah.
Peace of Mind and Moon.
Mean.
Peace of Mind and Moon, I think lyrically was the songs you struggled with the most because they were so different.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I see
True.
that.
But anyways, keep going with what you were saying.
No, but that's I feel like Peace of Mind helped me grow a lot more. I mean, as I listen to it now, I'm like, wow, I actually wrote that, you know? Or like we actually wrote that. I mean, y'all, I feel like when it comes to lyrics for me, it doesn't flow as well as y'all. And I remember y'all always telling me, it's like, well, you just need to start writing more, you know, just practice it and it'll come to you. Like you always reference Ed Sheeran and how it's like, you know, a dirty faucet, you know, you just got to let it push through all the dirty stuff and just once it comes clear, then it just flows. And I'm like, dang, that's true. And it's true. It's true. I think I said on the last episode, a couple episodes ago, I was like, I wrote my niece a song and she cried the whole time. She didn't like it. She doesn't like me, but
But you still wrote her a song.
I still wrote a song for her.
Yeah.
And I was surprised because I was like playing some chords. I was like, hey, this fits. It was crazy. So how did we go? Sorry. The main thing we want to talk about is maintaining perspective and or maintaining proper perspective. So my question is to y'all is, what is proper perspective? What is that in general?
Take it away, Tony. You haven't said anything yet. We don't want to take the light.
If you don't want to, you don't have to.
I'm just giving you room to speak.
I mean,
just because it was just us.
With perspective, it's a big word, and it's honestly a new word that's in my vocabulary now. I didn't know what perspective was until like we sat down and spoke about it. But I think perspective is basically what, like, you know, like a kind of like a vision, like a vision to where you see yourself in, going forward from here and on, moving forward, like a vision of the future, where you see yourself gonna be like probably in 5 years from now, and basically, like a kind of a vision. That's what I think perspective is.
Oh, yeah, I agree. Mainly just like keeping the mindset you had originally, like working hard to keep it. Because, well, you guys know me. I get distracted very easily. I don't have ADHD though. But
Dude, the distraction is a big word in our vocabulary.
I don't know how to spell it.
You're
But-
bilingual. It's okay.
Yeah, thank you.
What's the word in English? What is it?
Starting
You're
to sound
right.
like Little
I do have
Mermaid.
those moments. I do have those moments.
Classic, bro.
Yeah.
What's that word in English,
was-
bro? I just spits off to his other buddy who speaks Spanish.
Yeah.
Da, 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 da. Yeah, what is that in English? And then there's two of them. Then you got two people not knowing what it is in English.
I remember that.
Happens
That
all the
was
time,
the
bro.
funniest thing ever. When y'all told me about that right after, I'm like, whoa, really?
It happens, dude. It's common too. It happens with all the kids I coach, bro. What's that word in English? And they turn to their buddy, and their buddy's like, I don't know. And I'm like, wow, this is crazy.
But it was like for. But yeah, just having that clear path, like really understanding why, personally, like why I wanna do something, and either I have to constantly remind myself, or someone or a certain moment like helps
Boom.
me remind of that.
What you said is like super key. So earlier last season, and also you guys have heard me in general, Simon Sinek, right? The whole dude that talks about the concept of the golden circle and starting with why, right? Like what you just said is that when all else fails, you fall back on your why, right? When promoting a product, you start with your why, then you move into the how, and then that's what it is. I think in order to maintain proper perspective, you have to understand why, because that gives you the perspective. So, in Peace of Mind, we didn't give up on that song because we had the perspective of the 12 for 12, and we had the perspective of how impactful and meaningful and like deep the idea and concept of that song was. We may have like flirted with the idea of giving up, but we didn't, because we were able to bring ourselves back and just step outside of it and be like, okay, this is what we need to do, or this is something that we need to do. Then we started to experiment.
I remember that night. We talked about it before. I remember that night we stayed up hecka late. We stayed up late because we just wanted to figure like what to do with the song. And I remember you found the drum beat, right?
Yes and no, because part of because I was listening to a bunch of songs that week, and then I fell back to my inspiration, John Bellion, just listening to all his albums, and then in translation through speakers, like in his first 2 albums, he always did a lot of like vocal stuff, like beatboxing and then a bunch of larynx. But when I got to the Wonder Years, that one I was like, this is kind of what I want Peace of Mind to be like, you know? And then I guess a part of me also like, I don't know if it was we talked about it or I just felt it, but like how we can make the song feel like your song as well, not just our thing. So then I was like, why don't we? And then I texted you or called you, and I was like, why don't we have Tupo like beatbox?
Yeah, we talked
for the drum, like have that be a backbone, and then we can like figure something out. So then when I came home, I was messing with like some drum stuff, and then I talked to a friend. I will not say the name because we don't want the same problem to happen first episode. But I told them I was stressed out about the drumming.
You can say your friend if they're over 18.
Wow. But I'm just gonna play it safe. Play it safe.
Wait, same friend?
Remember, shout out and call outs are different.
Facts.
You got me.
Wait. Same friend that we kind of announced it on the season finale?
Yes.
Okay, that friend. Okay, cool.
Beep. No, I was kidding.
Beep.
But I was telling her I was frustrated about just like figuring out the drumming, and then she said just to send her what I had, and then she sent like 2 different drum files, one with reverb and one without.
Yeah.
Threw them both in, and I thought it flowed.
It was good.
Pretty smoothly. Showed you, and then I threw in some of the drums I did. I was like, oh, this is
Dude, I
starting
layered
to
those
work
drums
through.
up too.
Yeah.
I threw in more drums.
Yeah, you did. I was like, this is starting to that moment is when we started to like finally like get used to the song. But it was the guitar loop that was bugging us because we heard it so much that was like the little bit like the gear grinder for us.
Yeah, we were like, at least I was like, this guitar cannot play the entire song because it's so repetitive and so annoying.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had the idea, you're like, let's just reverse it. I was like, okay. And then at first I was like, it doesn't line up because we recorded it with the original drums, but then we kind of moved it around a little bit, and then I was like, oh, it fits. It works. And it sounded way better.
Oh, yeah.
Because it went from guitar to like this ambient
like weird
noise that was just in the back.
When we did that, that's when the song started to sound more like us.
Yeah.
And then we did a whole bunch of like John Bellion-esque stuff with the vocal instruments stuff.
That was persistence. I think that was the first time where we learned as a group what like persistence actually was. No matter how impossible it seemed, we kept experimenting. We made little changes here and there, and it just like then the principle of consistency kicks in after persistence, right? If you keep going, make little changes, small things, keep making little changes. We just kept doing it. Oh, that didn't work. Try this, and it kept going and going. And the goal was, I think the key was we never stopped working. which came back to bite us in the butt later on with a different song.
So
We'll get into
true.
that.
We'll
We'll get
get
into that
it.
later
Yeah.
Next
in a
episode.
different episode. But that's how Peace of Mind came to be, and that's how I think we learned how to fall back, number one, on our principles and on our why, while also pushing the boundaries and pushing ourselves to try something new and different.
I feel like going back to what you said, we didn't stop working. We started keeping going. My dad always said this. He says nothing's really hard in life. You just got to do it. And I'm like, dang, that's true. And I took that perspective and I was like, wow. And that's how I kind of made it through life. And like, obviously there's some points in life when you're like, man, this sucks. But sometimes you just got to do that stuff that sucks, you know. Sometimes you got to do those things so you can achieve what you really want, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Dude, when faced with like adversity or when trying to accomplish something for the greater good, in terms whether that greater good is to better your life or to help somebody else out or build a career or whatever the case may be, the first questions I always ask myself when I can't figure something out or something's not going the way it should, I think it should go, what's in my control, what's out of my control?
Facts.
That's perspective too. That's a part of it.
Facts.
If you can recognize what's in your control and be like, okay, I'm going to start there, then you realize and accept the things that are out of your control, but then you realize those start to become insignificant because what you can control brings on new things, new opportunities, new doorways, new everything, new change. It brings on the necessary change for you to grow.
Nah, but going off was, my mind is blanking what you just said.
What's in your control, what's out of your control?
Yes, what's in your control, what's out of your control. Tony, we haven't heard from you. I feel like we're just kind of talking over you, bro. I feel bad.
I think I've had trouble with that. You know, dealing with what I couldn't control. Part of the reason why, in the beginning of this year, I was just trapped and stuck. It's because I was worried of things that I couldn't control. Like with my job, I lost my job in January. I didn't lose it, but I couldn't. It was too far for me to drive, you know. So it was something I couldn't control. So I had to make a sacrifice and leave that job. And then at that point, I was even more. I felt trapped and even more stuck. So I felt to the point where I wanted to avoid people. But then Tupo reached out and called and just checking up on me and say, hey, you want to come over, visit like the boys, Sam, Josh. I was like, yeah, sure, but I was kind of hesitant at that point. And at this point, this was something I could control. It was a choice, whether I would just stay there and be stuck, or reach out to Tupo's hand, because he was offering. And at that point, I was like, all right, maybe this is something I can't control. Like it was my choice, and then I accepted Tupo's offer, and then here I am now.
Was it worth it so far?
Yeah, it was worth it. It also gave me perspective, because perspective, like I said, wasn't in my vocabulary. It didn't even exist when I was with my auntie. I didn't even know what it was. I didn't see myself going anywhere. But ever since I moved here, you guys helped me and giving me perspective on where I wanted to go. Making music, doing this podcast, it felt right, and that's when I finally see I can see myself working with you guys. It's like the best experience, and I want to keep it, and keep going.
Oh yeah, we're so glad you're here too.
Honestly, facts.
I'm grateful.
I think perspective is such a big topic, and there's a lot of angles you could go with it. So we could talk about this for hours on end, probably. But I think perspective is focus. essentially. I think oftentimes when so as last note, as of right now, do we have crazy numbers in terms of who listens to our music, who watches
Heck,
our podcast,
yeah, we
listens to
do.
our podcast?
Yeah.
Shout out to the
5.
68 monthly
68.
listeners.
Actually.
You know, like we're not like some big internet sensation, you know, content creator musicians. Like we're just not that right now,
No.
right? But we keep going and we keep doing this. And I think it's because we oftentimes remind ourselves of our potential. We remind ourselves and we talk about and we communicate how we feel about the current circumstances and what we see in the future. We talk about standing on a stage, looking out, have there being a lot of people in the audience, whether that's it, or looking at numbers, looking at like, you know, people reaching out to us being like, yo, this song is great. This song's awesome. You know, like different things like that. Like we're always reminding ourselves of that. So I think there's this phrase that I kind of coined in my mission. I can't remember. I heard some successful dude talk about it, and I kind of wrapped it up into like 3 lines. And you've heard me say it, but like if I were to offer anything to anyone listening, this is what I would say. And this is how I live my life, right? I ask myself what's in my control, what's out of my control. That's my process that's the framework I operate in when trying to accomplish something. The other part of it, to get the proper perspective, what you focus on determines how you feel. And how you feel influences your actions. So if I want to change my actions, I change what I focus on. You know what I mean? That's where I start. Tupo reached out to you, right, about moving out, and ultimately you just said it. You had to make a choice. You had to consider the possibility and be okay to a degree. Even though you were unsure, you had to be like, okay, let's try this. You switched your focus. And so what that allowed you to do is to make that choice, which brought on the necessary consequences for you to feel differently, for you to, I feel like, be happier. Because now that you're living with us, even just it's been like, what, over a month now? It's been like 5-6 weeks maybe or something. Somewhere around there, ballpark. Mm-hmm. You're so much different now than you were when you first moved in.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You seem happier. You seem like you're in a better place.
You seem a lot more open, for sure. Granted, you knew us for a good amount of time because of high school. But even when you were here at the beginning, it felt like you were just a stranger, essentially. Because of I assume it was like fear of like opening up again or something. But the fact that we were able to notice the change you've been going through means a lot, for sure.
Yeah, it is a lot. Like, with all the things that you guys done for me, like helping me get to where I am right now, and that you guys are still helping me is truly a blessing, you know. So I'm really grateful.
I think with that, like, another good thing that I think we were able to portray in the song is the frustration, like not just like of making the song, because we have plenty of that, but just like in our personal lives, you know, because everyone goes through something. Because obviously the love story that's in the song, it's all metaphorical for what we think music is to us, but also could mean like any specific thing to any specific person, you know. So that's why that's why I really love the screams that we do in that song, just to show like even though we're like singing this love song, like the part of us that really wants the peace of mind, that we're working really hard to achieve the peace of mind, it's being shown through that.
Yeah.
Which I love a lot.
Yeah, I do too. I think to kind of start to wrap it up, Tupo's kind of facilitating this, but I'm just kind of...
Nah, I was just... Sorry. I'm going to be honest with y'all. My perspective from when we first moved in here has changed a lot.
In what way?
Oh, let me tell y'all.
Because I noticed a difference too, and I'm glad you bring this up because I want to hear what you have to say.
He's finally opening up to us, guys.
It took the podcast for him to open up to his friends.
We should have done season 2 a long time ago.
Anyways, no, but I'm gonna be honest with you guys. When we first started this music group, I didn't know where it was gonna go. Honestly, when we first moved in and we were talking about making music and all that stuff, I did not see me making music.
A year ago today, before we moved in, you looked us in the eyes in our old high school gym and said, "Guys, I don't see the same vision as you."
I straight up did. I was like, guys, I do not see any of this.
A year ago.
I'm gonna be. Dang, that was a year ago. Anyways, no, but I'm gonna be honest. I feel like at that time I was just like, I was too in my head. I was too like, I didn't want to take that big of a risk because I wanted something that was solid, something that would like meet everything. But as we've moved in together, as we've started learning, we started making more songs and growing together. I felt like we can make this happen. We can make this work because, my mindset is, my mindset's always on the future. My mindset's like, if I do this, how am I gonna provide? Like, if I ever get a girlfriend, start a family. But if that ever happens,
when you
stop. This is the negativity.
When you start building a family.
But when you start building, when I start building, my mindset was, when I start building a family, I want to figure out the best way to support them financially, spiritually, and like, I just wanted to have a solid plan for that to actually work. Because my perspective is always on the future. Like, I always see myself with the family, with a good job, financially stable. But during that time, I didn't realize that, being with the family, financially stable and all that stuff, I wasn't going to be truly happy, if that makes sense. Like, you can have all this stuff, but yeah, if you're not doing what you love, then you're not doing, if you're not doing what you love, you're not really doing anything in life, if that makes sense, Like, if you're just going to a 9 to 5 each day, every day, like, you're doing it for your family, of course. You love your family, but if you're not doing something that you're passionate about, you're not really going anywhere.
Exactly, because you're a part of the family, which means you matter too.
Yeah, most definitely.
So, what's crazy is a year ago you looked us in the eyes and said, "Guys, I don't see your vision. I don't share the same vision because of all these things." And now you join the conversation with us about like, "Man, I don't want to work this job anymore. I want to do this."
Straight up.
And I think that's so cool. I think it's cool that we created those pie charts that we have hung up that are gonna, like, that's helping us maintain perspective. Like, there's different.
Yeah, those. They're on the wall. They're on the wall, Tony. How'd you do that?
Bro, by the time this episode is up, it'll be on the wall. Why'd you do that?
Black magic, bro. It's still on the wall.
Clip that. Anyways, back to what Sam was saying about the pie charts.
Just perspective. We'll just go down the line super quickly. Advice you would give to anyone who needs help with this. My advice, I'll start with me and then we'll go down the line. Mine is what you focus on determines how you feel, and how you feel influences your actions. So if you want to change your focus. Start there.
Down the line. It goes this way.
I'm sorry.
We're going that way.
My line is straight. This is not a straight line.
Last time I checked.
Anyways, I think I'll wait until these guys finish laughing.
Yeah. That was quick. Nice.
Yeah, I like that. I think
Stop.
the advice that I would give is to don't miss any opportunities, because an opportunity can also give you a focus, or like you said, focus. If you get an opportunity, take it, and then that should allow you to give you perspective, like where to go. it helps out. But yeah.
Going along with that opportunity, I feel like my advice was my advice is to take that risk, whatever it is, to change. Like, if you don't see a perspective, like, what Sam says, change your focus, look for those opportunities. I feel like take a risk, because in this life, it's about risk. It's about taking that step into something you don't know, because you never know where it might lead to. But it's always taking that risk, having that faith. There you go. Yeah.
Wow. Y'all wrapped up everything I wanted to say.
He's like ditto.
Ditto.
Classic response.
Just do what you love. Do the things you want to do. Do the things that really make you happy. Because there'll be plenty of times where people closer, family members will like not give you the support that you're expecting to receive from them, which is difficult. But if you do have that vision into doing something, to just seeing you guys looking at me is funny. If you have that vision that you can achieve something with the talent that you have, or something that you love, just go for it. Because it's better to be working in a job that you love and don't consider as a job, rather than going to a job knowing that it is a job. Like, it's not about the money. Money ain't about the money. But it's really about just being happy, and then being happy with the ones that you love and cherish with you.
So our challenge to anyone who's listening is to really think about and figure out what your why is, because that's what you'll fall back on to refocus the lens you use to see your potential and to achieve what you want to achieve.
Oh,
Amen, brother.
most definitely.
Drop that mic. Leave something in the comment. What do you want to achieve?
I guess another thing is always look forward, don't look back.
Facts.
Dude, you know why?
Always look up, don't look down.
Dang, never mind.
What were you gonna say?
Do you know why in a car, why your windshield's bigger than your rearview mirror? You know why? Y'all know why?
Why?
I don't know. Do y'all know why I was asking y'all?
Well, because, not on a bus. Well, actually, a bus, it is smaller, but it's just as wide.
That's true.
But I do agree, except for most learning happens when looking back, reflecting back on experiences, not getting stuck in what's behind you, I think is the big clarification there.
That's why the rearview mirror is so small. You just reflect a little bit and go forward.
Exactly. You use the rear view mirror to make sure that you're safe in all directions.
Ooh.
So look forward, and maybe just a little bit in the back.
We're butchering this. Let's end it. It's over. Wisdom is out the door.
Well, that wraps it up for us, boys. Josh, take it away. You already know what to do.
No, you stole my job.
I know. I was about to say cue the outro, but we don't have an
Oh yeah,
outro.
we don't have an outro. Sam, can you drop that needle for me, please?
Hit it.
I wanna be the very best.
Oh yeah.
That no one ever was. That's how it
Don't know the
was.
other
That's
words?
actually was.
Yeah.
That's actually. I thought
Yeah.
it was dun dun dun. Never mind.
Well,
Anyways.
that was later, but all right.
Oh, that's later?
We were gonna do a remix, but that's all right.
Oh, what?
Sam, drop the real beat.
Bro.
Don't sing the lyrics because that's not the part of the song that's playing.
No,
Stop.
I know. I was just remembering the TikTok video.
I'll be playing like the better part of the song.
Oh yeah, definitely, because the
Understood,
beginning
understood.
sucks.
Nah.
I'm
But
just kidding. I'm in the beginning too, bro.
You know what? G-Son. All right.
G-Son. Hey, we love y'all. Yo, what do we say? What's our mottos?
Remember, keep that peace of mind.
Keep on.
Love y'all. Y'all be easy. Deuces.
Adios.
Woo-wee.